Hi everybody, it's Rachel here from Rachthestamper.com, and I know everybody is going wildly crazy over everybody's live Christmas pre-order hauls, which I'm a little jealous of because I didn't get next day shipping. But what I wanted to show you guys was a card that we made this past Friday at a workshop that I did, and this is kind of a little spin on a card that I actually saw in the annual catalog. Let me just show you that page back here with the background stamps. Oh goodness. Oh sweet heavens, I can't find the stamp. My page. Well, anyway, if I happen to come across it, I'll show it to you. But basically, it was a card using the tree ring background stamp, which of course I can't locate. So anyway, it was a really cute, it kind of looked like a box. And it was just tone on tone. And I thought this will be such a pretty card to make using the Always and Forever stamp set. When I saw this with the tree rings, I just thought this was such a pretty card. It would make so many lovely cards. And I had to get it because of the tree ring. So I thought this would make a fun variation on it. So I'm just going to show you guys quickly how to make this card. And just a note that the 1600 prize has not been pulled yet because I'm still waiting for number 1600 subscriber. So right now I'm at $15.99 and I'm going to give away these fancy frost sequins. Anyone who enters the contest, all you have to do is become a subscriber and leave RACH1600, RACH1600 in a comment, and I'll enter you to win. So I just need one more person and I'll be able to draw those so I can give them away and send everything out to you. But anyway, let me show you how to make this card. It's very quick. This is a great card if you need like a quick anniversary, a quick birthday, a quick thinking view, lots of things. I mean, you could completely change the sentiment. On the inside, I just put something just very simple. And this is actually out of the Lovely Friends stamp set. This is in the annual catalog as well. This has a lot of really great script and words and sayings on it. So I just did the Lucky I Found You with a little bit of the floral embellishment there on the inside, just to keep it simple. So let me show you how to make this. Now, you have to forgive me because I used all of my crumb cake. I actually had to sub in some craft cardstock that I had left over. So just pretend like this is crumb on crumb, or you could do craft on craft if you have that left. And this is definitely not a standard size card, but just bear with me because this is all that I have left. I'm waiting for my order to come in. But what you're going to need is, if you get this on a wood mount, then it'll already come mounted. But otherwise, you're going to need the largest block, which I think is an I. No, it's an F. You're going to need the F block. And then this stamp is a little too big to fit on the smaller one, so this is on an E. We're going to do this second. So what I'm going to show you first is, let me grab one piece of scrap because it's easier when you have these background stamps to actually ink them up down and then put the cardstock onto them and press. So I'll show you how to do that. So this is Early Espresso. So you just kind of press onto your stamp, kind of all over, and I like it to be pretty dark. And then you can just set this on the side because you're going to use it, and just please forgive me, this has already been used, so you're going to just set that down. This is something that somebody wasn't happy with the way it turned out, so we had another piece, but I'm going to use it as my extra. And this is another way to show you that if you screw it up on one side, you can always flip it over and use the other side instead of wasting your paper. So what you're doing is you're just putting this piece of paper down so you can get ink all over your hands and pressing. The other thing you could do is you could also use, if you want a really good one, you press with your bone folder and it'll just give a really good transfer of the ink. Let me move this out of the way and lift this up. Isn't that beautiful? So easy, and you can see right where it is there. So this would be really easy if you wanted to make multiples. You could just do all the layers, and then you could go back and do all the other ones as well. So I'm going to set this on the side just for a second, and we're not going to use this yet. Hold on, I'm going to show you one other thing. So instead of inking this up and then going back, I kind of thought it would be easier to do it with markers. So I just have a just a little piece of Whisper White, and what you're going to do, I find that it's easiest, let me close this first of all. I find that it's easiest if you go from the inside out. Okay, so for the inside of the heart, I did Berry Burst. And then again, I went with Early Espresso. And then I used Garden Green for the leaves. And then I'll show you how to fill in the rest of it. So if you go the inside, you can always kind of refill your colors to the outside easier or cover up if you make a mistake. So if you turn your tip kind of to the side like this, it'll get a nice inking. And then you'll just take your Early Espresso. Again, you're using the brush tip. And in case you're not familiar with these have a brush tip and a fine tip, so you can write with one end and kind of paint with the other. So we're going to go in and we're just going to go over that part we just did that happened to turn a little bit pink. And we'll just kind of drag it out like that. Make it as dark as you like. And I find that if you point the tip to where you want to go, so instead of going like this, if you point the tip in, you can get better, more precise coverage. That way you won't really ink over what you don't want inked. And then same for this. So I'm going to point it at what I don't want to cover. And I find that, I mean, it does take a teeny bit of practice, but I find that it works pretty well. Okay, let me just do this last part. All right. And then finally, we're going to take the Garden Green and we're going to just fill in the leaves. You could do this with any color you like. You could do it with Always Artichoke. Pear Pizzazz, I think would be just a little bit light with the tones of the card, but if you went with a lighter card, that would look great as well. All right, so now you have your marker all inked up. Just, whoops. Oh, whoopsie. I missed a little spot. I just want to go back and do this. I think I smudged it off with my finger. Okay, so now what you're going to do, you have your ink, and you're just going to huff on it, like exhaling onto it, and then we'll stamp on our card base. I think I just kissed it by accident. That's got to be pretty. Probably have brown ink on my lip now. So just give it a press, and I kind of just give it a second. So isn't that great? Look, and you have your little pink there. So then all you're going to do is you will now take your powder pink, and I just kind of filled in the center of this kind of lightly. I didn't really go to the edge. And I got to tell you, the girls that were in the workshop did such a good job with kind of making this their own. I was very proud of them, very impressed. And then just a little wink of Stella over top. Just give a little bit of shimmer to your heart. So all we're going to do now, I'm going to just do this as quickly as I can. I'm going to just fussy cut this out. Fussy cuss. Well, you might be fussy cussing if you don't really like the fussy cut. I just invented a new crafting slang. Fussy cussing. It's cussing when you're cutting something out. The jokes are free. No worries. So let me just trim this up. If any of my friends would be watching this now, they'd probably be dying of embarrassment. All right, let me just get this trimmed real quick, and then I'll show you how to do the rest of the card. So the only other thing we did with the card is we're just basically sponging the edges. You can put it flat, you could lay it on dimensionals, whatever you like to do. It's a very simple card. Again, you can completely change the sentiment. I know I was reading something not so long ago on people that make cards in under 10 minutes, and I thought, well, that would be a challenge because I don't think I've ever made a video that's been less than 10 minutes, so maybe if I can stop talking, this will be really quick. So we're going to get out the Early Espresso once again, and I'm going to just get a sponge dauber, and I'm going to just sponge the edges, just like that. And this is optional, but I think when you do this, it gives a lot of depth to the card. So I do like to sponge. I sponge pretty much anything that holds still. Okay, so we're just going to take some snail adhesive, put it on the back, put that on there. Again, if this looks small, it's not a regular size card, and we're just going to sit this on. Now you could put this up on dimensionals if you wanted to. You could use, I can't remember what punch or set it is, but they have ones that look like little branches. You could put that behind, just add a little interest. That would be really fun. And then all you're going to do on the inside is put your sentiment. The other thing I forgot that I did on this card is I actually sponged the inside a little bit with the espresso, so I'm just going to lightly go over it, just because I felt like it gave it just a slight more woody feel. There you go, if you can tell the difference between that. So, hope that's a quick card for you guys, and I don't want to hold you up. Thank you so much for watching. Oh my gosh, it's 10:26. That's great. I think this is the shortest video I've ever made in my entire career. So anyway, guys, thanks as always for watching. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to me on YouTube, Rachthestamper. Still have the contest going on until I hit 1,600, and then I'll probably do another one when I get to 2,000. You can also find me on Instagram, on Facebook, and on Pinterest at Rachthestamper. And if you'd like to get any of these supplies and more, you can go to my online store 24/7 at rachthestamper.stampinup.net. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.